All right, and we are live. Hey, everybody, it's Jason Blaha here. Thought I would sit down, do a Q&A for all my people midday before we get the other work done. Just got my training vlog up. Clients are all in a good place, answered all their stuff for the morning. So it's just going to be social media content at this point. So we're just going to double down on all of it, make videos, get shorts, get reels, do some Q&As, talk to all my people, and just make it happen, guys. I'm really happy with today's workout. If you guys saw the thing, yeah, I'm doing really good. Defiant had a great workout. So kind of stuck with what I would set I'm going to do. I feel like I need to rotate into a little more delt specialization in terms of my actual lifting days. Now, keep in mind, my GPP is going to carry over to all my big lifts and stuff anyways. So I also, like I said in the vlog, I skipped my squats and deadlifts today. I normally don't do that. I normally do them 3 days a week. My abs were really hurting, and they're still sore from all the work I did, plus the hanging leg raises. I actually have really serious abdoms today, which does not happen to me. So it's like, I'm like, let's not risk straining anything. So I just did a bunch of reverse hypers instead of lower body work. But we went hard on bench press, rows, weighted chin-ups, weighted dips. Went hard on all those, hit some really good numbers. Very, very happy with all the lifts. In fact, I got a rep PR on the back off work on bench. Normally, I've been doing 225 and getting PRs. I went with 250, and I got the best reps I've got with 250 for a back off set. So we're just seeing a general progression there. All right. So working dips today instead of incline today. Yeah, so no, I skipped it because I'm like, look, I don't want to risk my abdominals cramping on a heavy squat or deadlift, putting stress on my back. I'll just squat deadlift again Friday. I mean, Monday was really good, really happy with the squats on Monday. Had a really good last Friday, back up into the highest reps I've hit with 500 on a deadlift in probably a couple of years. So, I mean, everything's trucking along there. I don't need to risk hurting myself if my abs are really sore from the ab work yesterday, right? There's no point in taking the risk. It's not like I'm not going to squat and deadlift twice this week still. So, it's all good, but I'm really enjoying the GPP. So I do think more of the ab work needs to work its way in there. So I'm going to start doing reverse hypers and hanging leg raises on all my GPP days, right? At the end of them, after I do the other stuff. I feel like I can let the big compounds handle arms a little further from here, and I can just do band work for arms just to keep the tendons healthy, so that next time I go into a bit of any arm specialization, the tendons will be in a really healthy spot. And especially if I'm going to work some shins in pretty hard, I want to make sure the bicep tendons are really strong from some band curls. But I feel like I can supplement my bench just because I'm doing a fair amount of benching. I'm doing like 6 sets of hard bench every week, both a higher rep and a lower reps. That dips should carry everything I need for supplemental for it. So I want to just double down on shoulder work. So I ended up doing all 3 heads of my delt separate, and I did neck work. I feel like at this point, I just need to bring my shoulders up, particularly as I slowly chip away the body fats, chip away the conditioning. I feel like shoulders are really what I need more and more. The more I look at how I look, like they're a weak point, yeah. I could see it in those bed ball throws as I'm walking back to the camera. Like, I had multiple people like, dude, you look massive there. But I'm looking at it going, where's the delts? And because I don't blast a bunch of gear, I'm not proportioned like my contemporaries. So I probably need to do some delt work again for a bit, bring the shoulders up. And, things like chins and bench and dips can handle the arms for now. I've done a lot of arm specialization for a while. Plus, even my GPP stuff continues to carry over that, those med ball throws and everything. It all goes into it, but I'm pushing. If I push pull-ups, bench, dips, and rows really, really hard like I'm doing, and keep pushing rep PRs on all of it, I mean, the arms are going to grow anyways. So yeah, I'm going to hammer my shoulders for a little while. And that includes neck work. So it's like I ended up doing laterals, I did front raises, I did reverse flies on the incline bench, right? And then I did neck extensions with my neck harness. So I'm like, let's just work the entire shoulder girdle and neck and traps and everything. I feel like it would be good for face. It'd be the only thing I bodybuild, and then we just athlete and power train everything else like I'm doing. Lars, what's going on, man? So yeah, so I kind of covered that in the vlog, but I mean the workout went really good, all things considered. Considering I did want to squat and deadlift with the sore abs, but yeah, those toe bars after doing all the other stuff, I think it was just a combination of all of it, and then throwing toe bars in after having not done them, like the abdoms. I just don't want to risk getting under a heavy squat bar. When I have that soreness, is the incline dumbbell press a good pec builder or too much front delt? Oh man, hit the like, by the way, guys. We have multiple regulars in one like. Hit that like button, y'all. Hit that like. That's hard to say, future. I think it's actually is a very good peg builder. I think the incline dumbbell is a really solid chest builder. Okay. And I'm not saying that dips and things aren't better for overall chest, but you are going to get a fair amount of front delt. It's going to be a little bit front delt dominant to some extent. Just keep that in mind. Now, if you can get a really good deep stretch where you really feel that chest, I feel like the incline dumbbell is really good for the upper chest. I don't know that it's a great overall chest builder, to be fair. But in terms of the upper portion of the pec major and even the pec minor, I think it's a very solid choice. Okay, it's a very solid choice. I used it quite a bit in the past, right? Especially when I was incline specialist. Remember, for a while I was doing most of my chest work incline. I was doing some flat benching, but I was really pushing incline barbell and incline dumbbell. And I built up to 225 for 10 on the incline in that phase. But I was doing dumbbells for supplemental in there too. And I feel like I got a fair amount out of it there. Hey, Gibbon, I'm not going to discuss that. Right, we're not going to discuss that at all. Connor, I love incline dumbbell presses, but after flat bench, my wrist feel sharp soreness after. It could be wrist wrap suffice. Or shall I try an incline barbell? You can do an incline barbell after. You need to look at your wrist stacking, though. Maybe work on your grip strength more. Make sure that your wrist stacking is good, and if you need to, definitely wrist wraps in that case. But I mean, I've done rep work with 315. I've even done 350 bench with no wrist straps with no problems. But I also have a good grip. I have really strong forearms, and I have good stacking. So those are things that you might need to think about there, Connor. Right? Those are things you might need to think about. I say incline dumbbell and barbell always give me good pec to belly. Okay. Yeah. I did see that you left a bunch of comments, and I appreciate that, but I'm still not going to entertain questions on my personal life of that nature. Squeezing the bar. Agree. Squeezing the bar is absolutely important. Again, particularly if you're trying to protect your wrists and even your shoulders to some extent. It's kind of a big deal, right? Also do in phases, so I switch back to flat press and dips too, right? Yeah, all good, man, as long as you understand everybody's good. So, yeah. But yeah, squeezing the bar, really important there, Connor. So make sure that you're double downing on that. So if you're getting wrist pain, you may not be squeezing the bar hard enough. Or we come over to where we might say, hey, we need a little better forearm development, right? You got to work on those forearms a little bit more. Yeah, I've been getting that consistently. I was at 3. I've been hitting 4 for a couple of weeks pretty consistently. Now, I don't quite have a 5th in there yet. Thinks I have big forearms, but very small wrists. Not sure, dude. I don't have big wrists at all. Let me look at my wrists. I got little bitty wrists. I don't drink soda at all. That's why. It's just a flavor of my water. No, I'm not. I don't really drink soda these days. Has your body weight changed since you added the rep? No. No. My body weight's pretty much stayed in the same little range for several months now. And it's fine. I'm kind of trying to stay there. I'm just recomping. It'll eventually start working down. Yeah. No, it's definitely a win. But other lifts have gone up. Deadlifts has gone up. It's like all my lifts have gone up. So I've hit rep PRs on most of my exercises at this body weight again. Right. I've got a lot of PRs. I mean, rows, pull-ups. Bars, why are we addressing that so many years later? I feel like that's like, you guys should have asked me that years ago. You know, have you seen years? No, years. You should have asked me years ago. I only drink soda, diet sodas, and social gatherings. Like when I'm out somewhere. Like I don't keep them in the house. I don't need it. So it's been a long time since I've done it regularly. Yeah, no, it's been a long time. All right. Do you completely fill up your coffee pot and drink the whole thing yourself? Yes. 7-0 is really good. Big Red 0. Yeah. Yeah, I don't need the bubbliness and the carbonation and everything in my stomach at this point. Because it's like I fast because it's easy on my stomach for training. So if I'm drinking diet soda, we're back over to things in my stomach that are going to mess with my training. Like the fasted training has been really, really good on my stomach. I don't have any stomach distress. I don't puke during the leg work. No problems. And so basically I feel like diet soda would just create the same problems that food do. Right. And then we're getting to in the afternoon, I'm during my feed window. So I'm eating a lot of food and I'm definitely not consuming caffeine. So again, we're at a point where there's no reason or benefit. You still do Greek yogurt? I don't eat breakfast. Hey, Future, I literally post all of my meals every single day in order. So if you look, you'll see my order that I eat them in if you follow my social media. Like you could go back every day for the past 6 months and see what I ate every day, and you'll see the meals posted in order in the big threads. So I mean, I document all of it. So I mean, people do ask things like that, but be aware, I literally document all of it. So here's yesterday. You'll notice that I have a protein shake post-workout. Then you'll see my first couple of meals. So just follow it in chronological order. I put it on Facebook and on YouTube. I tend to do Greek yogurts later in the day. But for breakfast, I mean, after the protein shake, once I eat my food, I tend to do chicken and rice type dishes. There's nothing wrong with Greek yogurt, but I don't eat in the mornings. Yeah. So my current routine, I've started working a post-workout shake in, and then I don't eat till at least noon. So I've had a shake today, right? But I haven't had a solid meal. So I had the shake, about 30 minutes ago, whatever, 30, 40, something like that. No, I mix it with Fairlife milk, sometimes water, but if I have a bunch of Fairlife around, I'll mix it with Fairlife and creatine. And then the meals I have afternoon. All right. So Mike Minzer said that bicep curls should be straight bar only, not easy bar. F, is he talking about? Then he said tricep push down. I have no clue what he's talking about with the tricep press downs. The whole point, I've made whole videos about the straight bar. Keep in mind, Minzer didn't have access to any scientific data. So, Michael, I do need you to understand. Mike Minzer did not have anything scientific to work off of. Everything was philosophy and his observations. His whole scientific method was based upon Ayn Rand's philosophical books. Yeah, he was a meth head. Keep this in mind. But in terms of supination, technically, in theory, yes, a straight bar should give you a small amount more bicep activation and a little less brachialis versus an easy bar or any sort of pronation, right? Is it enough to matter? That's a source of great debate. But biomechanically speaking, yes, in theory, you should get a hair more bicep. How much can a noob increase your squat with moderate sled pushes? I don't know. I don't know how much. Will it possibly help? Yes, but I can't give you any reasonable approximation of how much. I might have chicken breast, bulgur. I don't know what bulgur is. Quinoa, grains, avocado, bell pepper, spinach. Dobbsburg is widely known as one of the best. Yep, thank you. Can you give me some tips for eating a low fibery, so you're British, diet while maintaining gut flora diversity or reducing incidence of things like correlative cancer? I can't, sorry. Nope, I can't help you. Do you know why? You said low fiber. We can't do it. You've asked me to help you with something impossible. It might be. I have like 8 of this shirt. I only wear these right now for the live streams and they go like on the hanger. I got like this shirt in 8 or 9 different colors. So, do you have novice clients you coach just run that? No, I give them individual programming. So my squat will go up from 315 if I start pushing a sled with 120 pounds. It might. Right? I have a sensitive gut, just more and low FODMAP. Yeah, we're getting into very complex nuance. So this is not something I could just help you with in a live stream. This is a case of something we would need to sit down and do a consultation to where we go over the specifics of your gut problems. We would go over what you're doing with your diet and I would give advice. So this is not general public live stream level question. Well, yes, obviously they do carry over, and yes, I'm an elite lifter, but that's not what you asked me. You asked me how much, you asked me for a number, a quantitative measurement for you as a novice lifter, and I can't give you that. Okay, the Doc Hink is an auto ban. Should I let you guys vote? But just note this is an auto ban. It's the same guy. I banned him like 27 times. You guys have voted him off like 10. Do we really want to vote, or should we just go straight to the kapow? Anybody feel like voting? I mean, you already did the Doc Hink thing. It's too late. You can't take it back. I don't know why your spectral behavior won't allow you to not ask about Doc Hink. Yeah, so we're going to get rid of you. We don't even need a vote on this one. Kapow! You just get out of here. We're done. Okay. For those who are unaware, this guy, I banned him over and over and over and over. He's obsessed with a channel of a guy who does an entire channel about penis enlargement. And this guy can't help but post about it and get banned over and over. It's like he has an obsession with penis enlargement. So he probably should talk to a therapist about it. I figured if elite lifters get hypertrophy on sled pushes, then an intermediate should. Yes, absolutely. But lifting, that's not what you asked me. You asked me how much, and I'm telling you, I can't give you an answer as to how much. It should probably help. Yes. Right. I mean, sled work is great. It's great for building your legs. Therefore, it's good for improving your squat over time. If you would like to feel better, I can just make up a number. Like if you really need a number for your own mental purposes, I can make one up. They should produce it. It should increase it about, I'm going to say 7.2 to about 7.3% over the course of approximately 8.5 months. No, I can't give you a general guess at all. No, not at all. No, I mean, I gave you one, 7.2 to 7.3%. There you go. I mean, that's not helpful. You're welcome, but you insisted that you needed a number because I told you I wouldn't be able to give one, and you were just continued. So I feel like that you personally need a number for your own mental programming, right? So that's clearly what you need. So I can just make one up. A lot of stuff that coaches and informers do is placebo. So we'll go with 7.2%. Appreciate the super, Mister. Future Legend of Fitness is a gossip channel. Yeah, he's got his own set of stuff. Why are we talking about carnivore princess? Do we need to talk about Revival? I've already called him out. I don't watch his stuff, but I called him out already for the stupid carnivore thing. When it got sent to me, and then I checked it out, he got pissed. He got angry at me. He actually made a response. He got all butthurt. He got his panties all twisted up because I called him out on the carnivore nonsense. So lifting, it should help some, but I can't tell you how much. I mean, it's hypertrophy work for your legs. We don't really have beef. I called him on the well, he started for some reason. I didn't know who he was, and he said he really liked my work, but then he hated on the old fake Merc thing, and he actually lied about the nature of it, and that was sent to me. And I thought I'd let it go for the most part. He literally lied with what I said with it. And then he went crazy carnivore, and I called that out, and he made a response. That's about the extent of it. I mean, every guy who makes a hate video on me doesn't mean I have beef with them per se, right? Like, because that would be a lot of people do. Oh, he lied and said I doubled down on it and continued with it when instead I actually deleted it. So he said when the fake Merc thing happened almost 11 years ago now, that I doubled down on it and kept doing it when actually I deleted all of it the same year that it happened. Right. So there was no double down. I deleted all of it. And then I later made an apology video. And that's been a long time. Do people still obsess over it? They still make videos about it today. Even though I deleted all of it and I actually issued a formal apology, an explanation and an apology years ago, people act like I'm still doing it. Yeah, it's been 11 years. Well, almost 11. It's over 10, but it was 24. What year did I do it? Was it 2014 or was it 20? I think it was in early 2015. So we're coming up on 11 years. Yeah. Yep. So, and people still make videos about it. But it was never military, actually. There was no military lifting. So that's actually a lie. If people claim that I said military, that's a lie. I didn't actually say anything about military. So just an FYI. I claimed to be at that time, the joke was, because again, let's just claim it was intended to be funny. A mercenary and a hitman. Now, to my knowledge, that's not military. I don't think people refer to the military as hitmen and mercenary. So, no, I was very specific, and no, it wasn't heavily implied at all. I was very specific, actually. I think people who obsess about stuff like that with some random guy on the internet have legitimate issues. It's very weird. Yeah, no, I felt like it wasn't implied at all, actually. I mean, I was very, very clear. So, that I think that's a strange interpretation, personally. You were quoting movie quotes and everything, yet they took it. I know there were movie quotes. There was stuff from Alex Jones and Tom Clancy novels in there, right? Yeah. No, military means that you're a member of the military. That's very straightforward. You do realize, okay, so you're a little, that would explain it. No, it's not military. Military means that you are a member of a military, right? For something to be military, you have to be a member of the armed forces. Otherwise, you're either someone who's been hired as a mercenary, or you're basically a vigilante or an insurgent, right? If you're out fighting, doing anything. So, what do people mean when they say that they would rather be tried by 12 than carried by 6? I'm going to have to explain this for the non. Are you American? I'm going to assume you're not an American if you don't understand this one. Okay. No, it was all conspiracy stuff, like literally Alex Jones type stuff, guys. So the carried by 12. Okay, sorry. You'd rather be tried by 12 than carried by 6. This is a self-defense term. In other words, when you are tried by a jury in the United States, it's generally 12 people. So you ever heard the term 12 honest men, right? And you're out of here. Kapow! To Doc King. All right. Children Revenge is a damn good movie. Reminded me of that. Yeah. Can see. I know I haven't, Sean. I haven't had my carbs yet. I had a protein shake. My carbs are in the Instant Pot right now. No, I haven't watched the Gentleman's Gazette yet, but I need to make a note. Let me put it actually in my notes. The Gentleman's Gazette Razors. I'll eventually check it out. I'm gonna put it in my to watch list when I get time. I actually literally just typed it into my list. Dude, Instant Pot's awesome. No, I haven't had any carbs yet other than my protein shake. So we're going to carbs up here in a bit. But I got 2 cups of brown rice in the Instant Pot with broccoli. All right. I don't really know that I have great thoughts on AI and automation. I only know what I read and what everyone else does. But what I will say, what would John Connor think about this? Right? He traveled back in time, sent a Terminator back in time to help fight against this, built the resistance. And what are we doing? We're being lovey-dovey with Skynet. I'm just saying, guys, this is not going to end well. But I want you to remember, number one, maybe invest in tungsten core rounds. You might need them. And the armor is weakest under the chest. Okay. The video I recommend is called Cheap versus Expensive Shaving Cream, which is best for you by gentlemen. Okay. Which Terminator is your favorite? I don't know, man. I like the girl. Right. I just saw a post that said ChatGPT is going to allow sexting for verified adults in December. We as a society are cooked. No, all the normal dudes who can't get girls will be sexting with it, and everyone else will be having sex. Like, no, it'll be fine. The first one's a classic, though. I mean, Lars makes the point. Okay, Lars says the first, absolutely. I mean, the first is a classic, right? The first is a classic, and even though there's a whole franchise, it's the original, right? It matters. The only scary thing about AI is the facial biometrics and license plate recognition. Well, I'm more concerned. The scary thing is that it may wipe humanity out. Keeping in mind, even the top people who work in it still say this is an actual possibility. Stuff like when superintelligence is reached, that one of the guys who is one of the leading experts who helped create all the original AI has said there's, in his opinion, when it happens, there's a 20% chance it will wipe out the human race. And yet we keep playing with this. You know, or we're going to be assimilated by the Borg. Get ready for your neural implants, y'all. Right. Saying, remember, guys, the armor is weakest under the breastplate. Just saying. If AI takes it out, they'll probably create new AI that destroys the world in itself irreparably. Jason, I think the Neuralink and the singularity stuff is what we definitely say is concerning. I agree. I think this is the real concern. Other people talk about the screen. I'm only worried about facial, but it's like, no, dude, I am worried about the extinction or the enslavement of the human race. I'm a little more concerned with this. Right. AI is larger. It's a larger revolution than the industrial. Exactly. Exactly. And this is real concerns, and we've got to get proper fail safes in place. Lars, would you agree with that? We have to get proper fail safes into place. Because otherwise the potential for either creating a dystopian nightmare or the extinction of our species is an actual possibility. No, I don't think AI is going to advance gains. Fail safes are needed, but the real issue is that adversaries like China won't have these stops. Therefore, and absolutely. Right. And I think that's always the problem with stuff like China. Didn't we see it with the pandemic? Are we arguing anymore about the bioweapon aspect of this? Right. You know. Yeah, exactly. China has no moral or ethical standards for anything. And I think this is a valid concern. And I think this is something that we in the Western world, we do care a lot more about ethics. It's simply part of philosophies that our backgrounds have come from due to the ancient Greeks. You know, these deeper philosophical discussions is part of, kind of the cradle of Western civilization. And China doesn't necessarily have that. Right. TY, I'm not saying the current stuff. What do you mean? That could actually be near future. When we say that, we're not talking about in 10 years. I mean, it's the case of if singularity is reached with a super intelligence, it could happen pretty fast. You may not get a whole lot of warning. In other words, if you have a full network like that that just decides it's going to do this and it has the ability, it's not going to take a year to work it through. You're looking at if something gets into all the defense systems, it could just again, like you've seen in science fiction, it could literally just launch all the nukes. Right. Straight edge, the UK soon require digital ID for people to live, right? Thoughts on buff dudes guys having major back injuries? They're doing it for views or I haven't seen any of it. I don't know anything about it. Jason, Russia and the East never had social liberation like we saw in the West hundreds of years ago. They still hard circles in Russia 100 years ago, right? Right. And so, we need a context for this. Keep in mind, in recent times, these are countries and cultures that communism came in and decided to just cause genocides and mass exterminations. That's not that long ago in the history. So yeah, that is a concern. They may not be putting the fail-safe. They're going to go full steam ahead. And so what then happens if they create a whole system and network that networks through as something that reaches super intelligence? Right. You guys don't know. I've explained this in vast detail many times. Montel says, hey, Jason, I'm a 16-year-old male basketball player, 6'5", 140. Peanut butter. Natural peanut butter is your friend. Right? They treat their own people like trash in China, right? Keep in mind, China, think about China as it sits. A lot of people are unaware of this. It's kind of strange that a lot of the far left venerate China without realizing China is technically a racist ethno state. Everyone is aware of this, right? Anybody not aware of this? Their country is a racial-based ethno state. They have a ruling class that they believe are genetically superior. Yeah, they're genocided, the Uyghur, or however you spell it, right? So you need a context for these things. Being a death cult, you don't know the term death cult, meaning it causes death. Like you go into serious hardcore bodybuilding, it is pretty much it is a cult at this point. It's a cult-like mindset and subculture that essentially venerates death because they abuse drugs to such an extreme degree that they're dying young. They're dying like flies. No, go look it up. So you said that you're on the spectrum, you're good with the meanings of words. Go Google the definition of the term. Well, we talk about everything, Montel. We do talk about strength training. So back over to your question about bulking up. Man, natural peanut butter is your friend. That is your friend, especially mixed with some Greek yogurt. All right. All right. No, it's not even remotely close. The NFL is not even close to pro bodybuilding. Do you think the U.S. will consider digital? I have no idea. It's not that they venerate death, it's that the lifestyle itself causes an extremely high rate of very early death. And it's by its very nature because of the extremes required in the drug abuse, the extremes required in the dieting down. To be competitive is so crazy that it essentially is just killing people. Due to your age, no. No, I would need your father to apply for you. And I would have to have all communications would have to be with a parent present. That is my rule. Anyone with the smallest amount of observation, see how many bodybuilders are dying in their 20s and 30s. It's not about the roids. Hey, PS5, it's not just the roids. They're so far beyond that. You can't be anywhere near the size of these pro bodybuilders off steroids. So if you want to know how big guys got on steroids, think Arnold, think Lou Ferrigno, right? Maybe up to about Lee Haney. That's as big as you can possibly get on steroids. That's the upper limit. Right. So, because you coached me with my dad's, I would need your parent involved directly in the process. Yeah. Statistically, NFL players have a normal life expectancy with a lower overall death rate than the general population. Exactly. It's the HGH, the insulin, all this other stuff, the IGF-1, the diuretics, the thyroid hormones, the site enhancement. They're still, whether they're into death doesn't mean it's not going to kill them young with the abuse that's required. Right. I don't know if you've known guys trying to earn their pro cards at all. I've seen guys who are NPC and not even professional yet, whose drug stacks would make your jaw drop. Like you would be in complete shock as to what they took. No, Jay, they don't think they look good. A lot of the guys I know, they're extremely self-critical. They think that they look horrible. That's why they keep upping the dose. You absolutely should not be taking tests as a 16-year-old. Absolutely not. Nope. You are too young to be tampering with your endocrine system like that. I'm going to give you a hard no on that one. No, absolutely not. All right. You do not need to be taking illegal drugs or be tampering with your endocrine system at that age. Absolutely not. Right. It just turns into abomination, right? I mean, we're up to these Brazilian butt lifts being popular, and those are so gross. Like I literally saw on my feed this surgeon who she performs and was explaining why they smell bad. Well, there's a rumor that they smell bad, and here's why. Like, that's disgusting. You know, people are doing this to themselves. Once I learned that bodybuilders were willingly injecting insulin stuff my diabetic mother took that could potentially kill you, I stopped idolizing. They don't have a choice. They cannot get to those sizes without insulin. It's not even an option. Not just willing. If you say, hey, I'm going to go be an IFBB pro in the open, or at this point, almost even the classic, you don't have a choice. You made that choice when you set that goal. Like that's not even optional for them. They don't have a choice. Their choice is to not go pro. They are not going to get big enough without it. It is in the essential category at this point. But yes, it is potentially extremely deadly. And it's going to have harmful effects even if it's not deadly. Like again, you're going to have potential problems with your pancreas and other stuff, your liver and other things from all that insulin, even if it doesn't kill you. How much faster is your muscle growth? There is no set amount. It doesn't scale the way that you're thinking it does. It's not a set amount. Yeah, it's not that the shows require it. There's no rule. It's that you won't win. Like you're not going pro. Like let me be clear. You're not going to earn a pro card. You're not going to be big enough. No, you can try, but you're not going to succeed. Even rich piano people who inject insulin and do 12 hours of cardio at an empty stomach. Yep. Right. you can try, but you're not really trying because you're doing something that you know is going to fail. You know, you can try all you want. It's not going to work. There are biological limits. Like you can't change biology. Trying and wishing and praying doesn't change biology. So, it is insane. So, hence my point. Why do you guys think I make such a big deal about it? And people are like, well, I think you're a little harsh on it. I'm like, no, I'm just calling it like it is. Jack, you'll have to do research on specifically what all Winstrol does. Winstrol is definitely one of the harsher anabolics overall in terms of side effects. Right? I listen to a little rap here and there, not a lot. If I listen to any rap, it tends to be older, like older gangster rap. Like I could think of my age. It's going to be like Ghetto Boys. I don't know who NBA Youngboy is. Maybe the newest I might listen to would be 50 Cent. You know, because when I was younger, I do know who Bone Crusher is. I am from Houston, so I do know who Bone Crusher is. I only know that one song, "It Never Scared." That's the only one I know. Yeah, 90s rap to Motown music is very good. Right? Keep in mind, I'm 48 years old. But no, when I was like in my 20s, like 50 Cent was kind of a big mainstream thing, you know. Even the Chris Bumps that are over my Irish doesn't look that good, you know. Yeah. All right, guys, it's about breakfast 30. Jack, I do discuss the health downsides to that. Why are you pretending that I don't? I just told this kid not to use anabolics. All right, time to wind this down. I'm going to end the Facebook. Give you guys a Mount Bicephus before we go. Oh, Mount Bicephus. And we're out.